Hi guys. I feel like I need to preface this video right off the bat and say that just because I think that these books were overhyped does not mean that I don't like them. Because actually, most of these books I did enjoy. I'm just not sure that they needed so much hype. We all know the book community, book talk, booktube, bookstagram likes to overhype books a lot. And I think that it's awesome because some of the books that are hyped up are actually hyped up for good reason. But also it is sad when I finally get to reading a book that's super hyped up and I'm disappointed. And I feel like most of the time, if I had just picked up that book on my own, I wouldn't have been disappointed. But because there was so much hype around it, I just have this really high expectation of what the book is going to be. And when I read the book, it just falls flat because of that expectation. I'm going to tell you guys about the books that I've read this year that I enjoyed, but they were way overhyped and I got my hopes up and they didn't hit as hard as the internet told me they would. And just again, these are my opinions, and if you don't agree, that's fine because reading is subjective and we can still be friends even if we don't have similar book tastes. Just because I didn't rate these books 5 stars and think that they were super good doesn't mean that our book tastes won't align on other genres or other books. With that all being said, I'm probably going to give a disclaimer to every single book that I show because I don't want anyone to be offended. But I'm going to give you guys the books that I thought were overhyped and I'm going to give you the rating that I gave them. All right, guys, we're going to start this off with kind of a bang. Don't be mad at me, but Beach Read by Emily Henry. I do like Emily Henry. She has been my #1 romance author this year. I haven't read a lot of romance, but I ended up giving Beach Read a 3.75. This is so hyped on the internet. I can't even describe. It feels like every single person except for me is absolutely 100% obsessed with this book, 6 stars. Yada yada. But to me, this felt like a typical romance, which is fine. I got what I needed out of it. It was very cute. I liked the characters. I liked the banter, but it didn't really exceed my expectations exactly. I mean, if we're being real, my expectations were through the roof for this book. And because of that reason, it just felt like it fell flat, when in reality, it is a good book. It's a good romance, good banter, like I said. But the hype just killed it for me, honestly. I love Emily Henry's writing, and I really liked this book, but it wasn't anything spectacular or groundbreaking in my opinion. I'm not sure that this is exactly overhyped, but when it first came out, I think a lot of people were reading it and a lot of people were saying that it was really good. So I did get my hopes up, and that is 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. I know that this is a YA thriller. People were talking about how Holly Jackson can get away with towing such a close line between young adult and adult thriller. And for me, this gave 100% YA. I don't see how people think that she was like towing a line because this didn't feel very adult at all to me. I gave this book a 3.5 and I think I still stick with that. Maybe like a 3.25, 3.5, somewhere in there. The mystery was good. I was definitely intrigued. And I think that the concept of having one book that lasts for one night only is very interesting. You get a lot of detail that way. But this just was what it is. It's a YA thriller. I think I would have died for this book in high school, but for me, it wasn't anything extravagant. Then we have The Wishing Game by Meg Schaefer. Again, I'm not exactly sure that this is overhyped on the internet because I don't really see it anywhere a lot, but the specific people that I do watch were talking about how amazing this book is, 5 stars. And again, like most of the books on my list, this was very cute, but this was not anywhere near a 5 stars. I gave this a 3.75, and honestly, I think that was being a little bit generous. I think it probably sits like 5 Survive in the 3.25, 3.5 range. This is the very last time that I am going to mention this book in a very long time, you guys. I know you're sick of listening to me, but Caraval. I'm not going to go crazy with it. I'm just going to say this is massively overhyped. It is very cute. It is very wholesome, just like the Wishing Game. It is very, 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 very YA, and it will be good if you are just looking for a fun little story and you're not thinking at all about the writing or the plot. I did not like the writing, and the plot was absolutely all over the place. I was very, very excited for this one because of the hype, but mostly because of the concept. It sounded amazing to me. Like a magical circus or carnival sounds so amazing. And I'm actually excited to read The Night Circus because people say that it's better than Caraval. But yeah, that is my 2 cents. And I will say, I still did read the whole trilogy. So it's not so bad that I couldn't bear it, but it definitely wasn't my favorite, and it definitely wasn't one that I thought the writing was good. So I wrote this down as a 3.75, but if I'm being real, again, I think it's probably around a 3.25 or a 3.5. Again, a really cute concept, but the execution was just not there at all. You guys are going to hate me again. It's for the same exact reasons, but Happy Place by Emily Henry. I don't have anything really different to say about this than I said about Beach Read, and that is just that this is a nice, cute little romance. And that's just what it is. It's nothing miraculous. I don't even remember the banter being that good in this one. I also might be biased because I just didn't really like the characters very much. The thing that I loved about this book was the friendship aspect and the setting. That is what really brought my rating up with this one, but the romance, I did not like it. It didn't really feel genuine. It kind of felt like you guys shouldn't be together. I was just not attached to this romance whatsoever. And I think I don't know if I don't like second chance. Maybe that could be it. I've never read another book that's second chance romance, so I'll have to test out that theory. But again, that's just what it was. It was just a cute little romance, and it did what it needed to do, but it was nothing earth-shattering like everyone kind of makes it out to be. Another one you guys might hate me for, but The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I think that if this thriller was the first thriller that I ever read, it would have literally blown my mind. So I get where people are coming from with this one. And maybe it's just me because maybe I just have an overactive mind when I'm reading thrillers because for some reason, and I hate it, but my brain just like tries to figure out the ending or the plot twist. And I feel like for this one, for me, it was very obvious what the plot twist was. And I think maybe it was very obvious because of all of the reviews that I saw on it saying, oh my gosh, the plot twist is gonna get you, blah, blah, blah. And so with that in my mind, my brain was just automatically like, okay, let's go to like the craziest plot twist that this could possibly have. And that's probably it. And it was. So again, if I had never heard about any of the hype around this book, I think I would have really enjoyed it more than I did. This was a 3.75 for me. I like Alex Michaelides. I liked The Maidens more than I liked this. And it's funny because everyone says that the plot twist for The Maidens is one that they figured out instantly, but I did not see the plot twist for The Maidens coming at all. So yeah, I think that the story was intriguing, but I did find myself a little bored throughout the story, and the fact that I guess the plot twist kind of just like ruins everything for me, unfortunately. Okay, the next one is Fable by R.F. Kuang. I've read Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I liked that more than I liked Fable. I understand what Fable was trying to do, and it did accomplish what it was trying to do. I will say that. I do think I understand where people are coming from with liking this one, and I think this is more of a me problem than a book problem. I have a problem sometimes with dark academia just because I find it kind of boring at some points. So that was heavily at play during this book. I did like the characters, and at points I did find it exciting, but And not that this was meant to be like a thriller or anything, but I did see the ending coming. Once I was like 75% of the way through, I guessed what was going to happen at the end. Yeah, it's just for most of this, I was very bored because it is very long. And I think that so much could have been taken out of this, but other things could have been added to this. Like, I wish that there was more about the silver bars. Like, I wish there was more action happening with the silver bars. And I know that there already was a lot of action, and I also wish that we got more of the secret society. I just kind of felt like the characters were talking about the secret society, and once our main characters were in the secret society, we didn't get like any more characters or any more depth on the secret society, really. And that's what I was really looking forward to with this book, was like the secret society, and the silver bar concept was very interesting. And like the race and colonialism of this was also very well done. But again, I just couldn't really get past how bored I was the whole time. And again, that is a me problem. I gave this a 3.25, and I think that I stand with that. And I don't think that R.F. Kuang like failed on the concept or anything. I think that she did do a great job with the concept. It's just that I was bored. Okay, second to last, again, don't hate me, is Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. Right off the bat, you guys, I'm just going to tell you straight up that this was a 4 stars for me. And I still stick with that. I still really enjoyed this book a lot. This was above average for me. I really enjoyed it. But again, kind of similar to the Emily Henry books, this wasn't anything that I felt was groundbreaking. And to be honest with you, it was extremely insta-lovey, in my opinion. And I know that some people would disagree with that because, yeah, they were talking for a while through the typewriters, but like, you guys literally just talked through typewriters and then you just get married. I don't know. It was way too fast for me. I wish that it was more of a slow burn and more of a build-up. I wish that we had seen the characters together more before the marriage. I just felt like it was just characters writing letters to each other, and yeah, the letters were sweet and kind, but they had no like getting to know each other time. And I think that just like really took me out of it. I actually wish this was a little over 300 pages, like 350 pages. I actually wish that it was longer to add in some more of a slow burn. The thing that I really did like about this was the whole backstory, and I was very interested in the war with the gods, which is why I actually ended up liking Ruthless Vows more than I liked this one. And I know that that is not a popular opinion whatsoever, but I just wish that we had gotten more of the fantasy plot in this one, but also more of the romance, like more development of the romance. And lastly, this is another one where I don't feel like there was extreme hype around it, but the creators that I do watch were talking about it a lot and giving it a decent rating. I think, again, this might kind of be my fault for hyping it up myself because the concept sounded very interesting. Sentient house, gothic vibes, that alone will draw me to a book. I had my hopes up. Did I even say what the book was? I don't even think I did. Starling House by Alex E. Haro. This was similar but different to my feelings of Caraval. Very different because I have strong feelings about Caraval, but similar in the way that the concept was very intriguing to me, but I don't feel like it was executed very well. I did like the gothic vibes, but actually this gave me very similar feelings also to Divine Rivals because the romance in this was also very insta-lovey. They just were like in love out of nowhere. And I was like, oh, okay, but how did we get here? Why are we here? Why do you love each other? And we, in my opinion, did not get enough of the sentient house. I wish there was more of that. The ending really brought my rating up. I will say I gave this a 3.25. And again, I'm going to stick with that. The writing was very beautiful. The prose was good at some points, but it just did not feel fleshed out as much as I hoped it would be. I feel like when you have a shorter book especially like a shorter fantasy book, it has to kind of like pack a punch quickly. You have to do it very elegantly. And I just think it's hard to do that. If you're writing a shorter book, it's just hard to pack a punch like that and also feel like the story is fleshed out. Again, it wasn't a bad book. None of these books were bad. None of these books were under a 3.25 stars for me. I just felt like I either heard from the creators that I watched that they were very good, or they were like extremely overhyped by everybody. I'm sure that in the coming year, I will read many more books that I feel are overhyped. So maybe I'll do this again at the end of next year as well. I would love to know if you guys have the same feelings as me, or if you disagree with me. I would love to chat in the comments, either or, whether you agreed with me or whether you didn't agree with me. I would love to talk about it. I just love to chat about books, guys. I know that I didn't exactly hype these books up for you guys, but I will still leave the links down below for these books if you're intrigued. I still do recommend every single one of these books. Not one of these books is one that I wouldn't recommend. I also have my socials linked down below. I will say that I'm most active on TikTok. I'm kind of still trying to figure out what direction my Instagram is going to go in. If you want like more bookish content on socials, I would definitely go follow my TikTok and my Instagram, but my Instagram might be ending up being more lifestyle. I'll also have my Goodreads and my Fable and my Wishlist and my Amazon storefront down below if you guys are interested in any of that. My favorite books of all time are also linked down below. I'm trying to make YouTube my full-time job. It would be so helpful if you want to help me out, if you could subscribe and go watch more of my videos especially. It also helps me out if you click the links down below. But that is it, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. What books do you think are overhyped on the internet? What books let you down? My camera's gonna die. I love you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!